You're about to see the most intimate and harrowing secrets of a woman's life. She could be your next-door neighbour, your sister, your best friend, maybe even you. Her name is Joey. She has 2 gorgeous kids, a loving husband and a good job. She's also an alcoholic. And in a moment, you'll see her at her worst. It's raw, it's shocking, but it's far from rare. Joey's part of a lost generation of young women, a new breed of alcoholics who, on the surface, lead respectable, ordinary lives. But in reality, they're a total mess. It'll make you think twice about your next hens night and your next drink.
Oh, we're going to go.
Oh, where are we going?
To Daddy and Sam. Hi, guys.
Bye, dude.
To the world, they're the perfect family. Joey Hamilton, her husband Craig, and their 2 children, 6-year-old Trinity and 4-year-old Sebastian, out doing what families do.
He's beautiful. Hear that? Hear that? He's talking to us. I think he likes it. Like these pack Cyrus?
Yeah.
Do it! Go put them away! Do as you're told!
But behind closed doors, with booze on board, 28-year-old Joey transforms into this.
Oh, hello, what's that? Get your pillow and get on your bed.
From loving mum to monster.
You've got a headache. I've had a headache for 15 years. You don't know what you're on about.
Joey's drunk 5 bottles of wine, and as this home video shows, tonight she's targeting the kids.
I sleep in the pitch dark. I love the dark. I don't need a light to sleep. Now you roll over and you start being a big girl and you go to bloody sleep. Stop being a baby. Do you want a hiding?
Do you think the demeaning language, the yelling, the loss of temper, do you think that's hurting them?
Yes.
And
I think it's hurting them and I think it's damaging them. And it has to stop.
And why can't you stop? Why can't you stop that part of your behaviour?
I'm an alcoholic.
How much do you drink every day?
Between 4 and 5 bottles of wine a day.
And is that easy to do?
It is for me.
It's an extraordinary amount.
It is.
I'm sick of being me. I'm sick of being a drunk.
It's an ugly reality, but this is Joey's world, the world of the suburban alcoholic, where for more and more women, casual drinking has turned into a daily, dangerous splurge.
Oh, sorry, no, stop, that was my fault. I'm sorry, I bumped your arm.
But Joey's exposing this hidden phenomenon by letting her drinking secret out in a desperate bid to turn her life around.
I'm a drunk who needs treatment.
The decline has been quick. It was just 8 years ago a sober Joey met her husband Craig. By the time their kids came along, Joey was hitting the bottle at all the wrong times.
When my daughter took her first steps, I celebrated by getting drunk. I showed up drunk at my daughter's sports carnival. I was drunk last Christmas at our son's Christmas concert at Kindy.
Craig, how much more of this can you take?
Sometimes you just get to a point where you're going to snap. I've been to that point. I've snapped a couple of times. And one time, of course, I moved out. Grabbed the kids, concerned of their safety. And if I'm pushed to the limit, I would do that.
Are you prepared to lose him? Are you prepared to lose the kids?
No. No way.
But you've done nothing up until this point.
I know.
To stop that happening.
I know.
I am starving now.
For Joey, she's finally decided her drinking days must come to an end.
What am I going to give up?
Of smoking
Yep.
and drinking wine because they both taste disgusting.
Do they?
Yes.
I'm ready and I'm feeling confident and I will do anything. I will move heaven and earth to get better and to keep it up. Come over here and give me
So
this,
desperate
please.
is Joey to stop her addiction before it's too late, she's taking the extreme step of naltrexone treatment.
You don't get queasy, do you, Tara?
I think you're the one going through the hard bit, not me. Naltrexone is normally used on heroin addicts, but George O'Neill is the only doctor in the world using implants to treat alcoholics.
Just releasing the medicine very slowly over 200-300 days.
The naltrexone works by blocking the pleasure receptors, so when Joey thinks about alcohol, she won't feel the urge to drink it.
We still think the reason people get better is because they've made up their mind to get better. And if you use a medicine, it just makes the job easier.
Joey should start to feel the effects of naltrexone within the next fortnight, but she's not the only one relying on it to work. Craig and the kids are hoping and waiting for a wife and mother to return.
I'd give anything to have a happy, united family. Anything. I'm fearful that she'll come back worse if she does hit the booze again. Very fearful. And that could be a breaking point for me then.
Joey, you're very good at talking the talk. I just wonder, do you mean it? Do you really mean it?
I do. I mean every word of it. I'm speaking from the heart. I want to get better.
Let's leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm so sorry.
Home to.
But from a certain day, you decided to change your lifestyle. I'm sure the counselling that you got was helpful, and you can comment on that. And the main thing that I'm keen to get into a video is that people who are very sick can recover. So, so having said that was my aim, I'm very keen for Fergus to ask the questions for 10 minutes, and then Fergus has got to go. And if there's any questions left, I'll ask some questions.
No problem,
and
that's fine.
Fergus is a good psychiatrist who's decided to give up his work as a psychiatrist in Britain and try and set up a program similar to what we're doing.
That's wonderful news, Fergus. That really is.
Thank you. Yeah, so we George did show me your 60 Minutes video, which was obviously very well put together. So, but for people who haven't seen that, would you like to describe how you were before you had the treatment?
Terrible. Absolutely terrible. I had my very first drink when I was 12. And from the moment I had my first drink, it triggered something in me. I found it extremely soothing and comforting. And it was the start of a really vicious cycle, because all of the ingredients were there for me to fall into the trap of alcoholism. I had a very stressful and very dysfunctional upbringing. I was a very anxious child. I had parents who were extremely disconnected, and there was a great deal of mental and emotional violence in my family home when I was growing up.
Yes.
So when I had that first drink at 12, and it soothed me and it brought me such comfort, and it brought about the ability to block things out, and it completely cancelled out my anxiety. The ingredients were there for the self-abuse to continue, and unfortunately that's what happened. I drank very, very heavily until I was about 21,
Yes.
which was when I became pregnant with my first child, so I didn't drink at all during that first pregnancy. I didn't drink during my second pregnancy at 23, And then after my second child was born, I was quite stressed. Motherhood triggered a lot of those. It brought back a lot of those bad memories of my own childhood, and I felt that I needed to drown all of that again. And so after motherhood, that was when I really hit things hard. In the last 4 years of my drinking, I was consuming anywhere between 6 and 9 bottles of wine a day, every day without fail. And I would also have to get out of bed in the middle of the night, sometimes at 2 or 3 in the morning, to consume straight spirits, straight rum, because I would shake. I was withdrawing.
Yes.
And continued for 4 years. It was very bad. I knew I wanted to stop. I knew I wanted to get better, but I didn't know how. I live on the Gold Coast, as you know, and back then a lot of treatment options involved in-house rehabilitation, so going away somewhere to stay for a period of time. And at that time, that wasn't an option for me because I had 2 little children at home, no relatives in Australia to help look after them, and of course my husband working full-time to support us. So that wasn't an option, and I didn't know what to do. And purely by chance, I just happened to have the TV on one night, and the current affairs show Today Tonight was on, and who should be on there but this gentleman by the name of Dr. George O'Neill.
Yes.
I sat down, I watched this story, and the rest, as they say, is history. I emailed George the next day, and it all started from there.
Okay.
And I knew that the implant was the right treatment for me because it's inside the body. I couldn't cheat. Like with oral naltrexone tablets, I could simply put the tablets away and not take them and go and drink again.
Yes.
So I knew that this was the treatment for me. Yeah.
Okay, and so you were really quite a bad way before the treatment, and
very bad.
Did you get seizures or DTs?
Not seizures, but DTs I did. Blackouts. Even as recently as 6 months ago, I'm hearing friends tell me about events that occurred and parties and birthdays that I attended that I have literally no memory of attending because I was under the influence. I know this sounds a bit cheesy, but do you know how when you hear about people who claim to have been abducted by aliens and they talk about missing time?
Yes.
That's what it's like. I've seen photographs of myself at friends' weddings and friends' parties that I have absolutely no memory of attending.
Yes.
Things like that. Apparently I gave a speech at one wedding and I was hilarious. I brought the house down. Everyone loved me. I don't even know what I said. I don't even remember going. So no seizures, but blackouts, missing time, constant DTs. It got to the stage where I had it down to about 40 minutes. I could go for about 40 to 45 minutes without drinking before my hands would start shaking.
Okay, so you must have been pretty severely addicted.
Very, very bad. I had to go into hospital in 2005. I had an ectopic pregnancy. And when I was being prepped for the surgery, I started to shake badly. And I was pretty lucky because there was one nurse who approached me and she sat down with me in private and she said, I need to ask you something. She said, are you a drinker? And I said, yes, I am. And she said, well, I recognise the signs and the way your hands and arms are shaking because my grandfather was an alcoholic and he used to do the same. Yeah. And I said, what's going to happen to me? And she said, well, you have to have the surgery because it's life or death. But she said, but I'm going to keep an eye on you because if you don't stop shaking, we're going to have to give you a drink, and that's okay. And in the end, the surgeon, the gynaecologist came in. They actually gave me 3 drinks. They gave me one then and there. They gave me one 10 minutes before surgery, and they gave me a third one 2 minutes before surgery.
Yes, yes. So they were worried. What about the impact on your family? What was that like?
The impact on my family? Well, you know what? I'm extremely blessed that my children were very little. So my children were aged 4 and 6 when I became sober, and thankfully now they have no recollection of me ever drinking.
Okay.
Now, you've seen the 60 Minutes, and you can see how absolutely appalling my behaviour was in front of my children. Again, thankfully, they have no recollection of it. My marriage naturally suffered very, very badly. It took my husband and I a long time and a great deal of marriage counselling to get back to a healthy course in our relationship. That was mainly not just because of my drinking, but it was also after I became sober. My husband was very sceptical because he was constantly living on it. He was terrified that I would relapse, even though he knew how the implant worked.
Yes.
And he knew there was no way I could take it out of my body. He was still very nervous, and it took a long, long time for him to re-establish his trust.
Okay, I guess, yes. Yes, it's because you've been like that for a long time.
Yeah, a very long time, yeah.
So tell us about the treatment you did get at the Fresh Start Clinic then.
So I arrived in Perth on the 25th of October 2007. And of course the 60 Minutes TV show was in tow, which was a bit daunting, but I was happy that the story would be getting out there. If it just helps one other person, then it's worth it. I arrived at the clinic in Townshend Road and walked straight up to George, and as soon as I laid eyes on him, I threw my arms around him and gave him a hug. I'm sorry, George, I know I keep apologising to you for the way I behaved. I burst into tears. I cried all over him because I was just so happy to see him, and I knew that he was the man to save my life. I filled in the necessary paperwork. I paid for the treatment. I paid for the implant. And then I came back on the morning of Saturday the 27th of October. And right from the moment I walked in the door again, I was treated so wonderfully. The staff were beautiful. There was a lovely lady there. Unfortunately, I can't remember her name, but she gave me hugs. She lay me down on the bed. She wrapped a blanket around me. She spoke softly to me. She made me feel calm. Nobody judged me. There were many of us in the waiting room awaiting treatment. We spoke to each other. None of us judged each other. And George, of course, was just wonderful. As always, George speaks with a very soft, comforting voice, and that was so important to me.
Yes.
After living in the noise of my own head for so long, to have this lovely, soft, comforting voice of George talking softly, talking me all the way through the procedure was just perfect. And I didn't even, as for the actual procedure, I never felt a thing. I never felt the injections of local anaesthetic that George gave me, because George was so gentle with the syringe. I didn't feel the implants going in, and I had very minimal pain afterwards, and I was taken care of so beautifully by the team after the procedure. It was the second to none.
That was an naltrexone implant that you had?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, it was. I had the triple, so I had the 2 cylindrical spheres on one side of the navel and one on the other.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how quickly did you change after that?
Do you know what? Honestly, within 5 minutes, I wasn't even thinking about alcohol. Within 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, I wasn't even thinking about alcohol.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it does sound like you were ready to change, but do you think the implants really helped or not?
Absolutely, definitely, yeah. And of course, because of the severity of my drinking, George prescribed large amounts of Valium for me to take as well, just as a precaution, so I didn't have any seizures or anything. And I think I took them for about a fortnight, George. I think it was about a fortnight to 3 weeks, and they helped a great deal, certainly with helping with the sleeping. But I noticed a difference straight away. You know, that the young lady I spoke to last night, George, you know how she said on the phone that she didn't even crave for sweets, for lollies?
Yeah.
Yeah, the same thing happened to me. I noticed, I have to tell you, I was a smoker at the time. I was a cigarette smoker for many years, and as soon as I had the implant put in, when I walked out of the clinic a couple of hours later, I didn't even want a cigarette.
Okay. And you stopped craving alcohol as well?
Absolutely. The last alcoholic drink that I had was the day before my implant procedure, and I haven't touched any since.
Okay, well that's great news. And how easy or difficult was it to get your life back together?
It wasn't easy because emotionally and mentally I missed out on a lot because of my drinking. One thing that I noticed was that I was 27 years old, but socially, in many ways, I was very immature. There were a lot of social skills that I hadn't developed appropriately. There were just so many things that I missed out on that I had to catch up on. For example, one thing that I had to learn was an appreciation of food, because once I had the implant and I stopped drinking, my sense of taste started to come back, and food suddenly tasted so delicious and so yummy. Whereas for all those years before, eating was just something I had to do to sustain myself, and I never tasted food. But my taste buds started returning, and I started noticing things like the taste of vegetables and the taste of fruits and things. So I had to learn to appreciate those all over again. Social skills, learning how to go to a party and not having alcohol as a crutch to lean on. I was so terribly, terribly anxious after I became sober. The anxiety was crippling. I couldn't even walk down and check my mailbox because I was so terrified that people would look at me and see me as ugly and stupid and inadequate. And I couldn't bear to be seen in public. So I had to have very intensive life coaching to rebuild my self-esteem from scratch.
Yes.
And to learn that I'm not ugly and I'm not stupid and I'm not inadequate.
The life coaching was from Chris's cousin.
Yes, it was. It was from Auntie Gifford, was my life coach.
Okay.
Absolutely wonderful lady. Yeah.
And how are you managing your anxiety now?
You know what? I'm absolutely wonderful with my anxiety. I don't even get anxious. I stopped taking anti-anxiety medication about 5.5 years ago. With my GP, I weaned myself off the medication over 12 months. And the last time I took it was 5.5 years ago. I don't even begin to get anxious anymore.
Okay. And how many years ago was your implant now?
October 2007, so it's just over 12 years ago now.
Okay. Congratulations.
Yeah.
It sounds
Thank
like
you.
It's really changed.
And can you tell him your education prior to coming to the clinic and your education since?
Prior to coming to the clinic, I dropped out of school in what's known as the 5th form. So that's sort of like, I'm trying to think of the British equivalent. It's about, I don't know, but without doing any O-levels, put it that way.
Yes.
Okay. And I never went back to education because I always believed that I was sick and stupid and I wouldn't amount to anything because that's how I was raised. I became sober in 2007 and I started a university degree in 2009. I got a Bachelor of Journalism degree with first class honours.
Wow, well done.
And right now I am about 2/3 of the way through a PhD. I'm currently on hiatus with my PhD, but I'm confirmed to go back in 2021 and finish the doctorate.
Oh, that's amazing. So you had that within you even when you were drinking, but it was sort of concealed, I guess.
I guess so. It was suppressed because that's what I'd always been told, was that I was the loser and I was sick and stupid and I had no brains.
Yes.
Yep.
But it sounds like you've got a big brain.
I must do. I must be doing something right. I'm really happy. Yeah.
And do you want to mention Craig and the kids?
Yeah. So I'm still married to Craig. So yeah, it's been 20 years now. Like I said, we've been to hell and back, but we managed to pull it together and keep going. We had almost 2 years of marriage counselling, 2 sessions a week for almost 2 years. We really, really fought for it. My children are now 18 and almost 17.
Oh, wow.
Have a wonderful relationship with them. We're going strong. We do really well. My children don't drink because that's their choice.
Yeah.
And my husband was never a big drinker anyway. He probably drinks 12 beers in a year. He's never been a big drinker.
Yeah.
So,
Well, if I did a little bit of bragging, my bragging would go along the lines that I invested half an hour and that changed the lives of 4 people for 250 years.
If you put it that way, yeah. Although I have to add this though, George. You say you invested half an hour, but you should really change that to you invested half an hour on me, but you've invested such a huge part of your life developing this implant, and you've selflessly devoted yourself to hundreds and hundreds of addicts just like me. But honestly, George, the real hero here is you. It really is. You are beyond amazing. And I owe you everything. I owe you my life.
Oh, there's a very good video where you tell people, I'm deadly serious about changing everything. And so I wasn't able to do that bit for you. You're the one who decided to change.
I know, but, let's call it 50-50. I decided to change, and you had the other 50%. You had the expertise, the intelligence, the invention, and the dedication and the love. So it's a partnership between you and me, George.
I'm very keen to encourage Fergus as he tries to get other doctors interested in this treatment.
Absolutely. And Fergus, if you ever need me, to speak to any of your colleagues or anyone else that you work with, please don't hesitate to contact me. I will gladly do that.
And when are you going to visit Bristol as part of your PhD?
Well, I don't know. You know what? I am really happy to visit Bristol. I go to England. I actually visit England once every couple of years. I have family in Liverpool, Preston, Longridge, around there, not far from Bristol. So I'm more than happy to pop into Bristol and spend some time with you.
Okay. Well, he wants just talk to Fergus. He'll tell you about the history of the pirate industry and how Bristol was involved and how Bath. He'll tell you about Bath.
Yeah.
So, I'll have to tell you that another time, I think. But
that's fine.
So,
that's fine.
But it's amazing to see how you somebody with very severe problems has come out the other end, and you've rebuilt your life, and so there's a hope for everyone.
Yep, there is. I always say to people, if I can do it, anybody can, because my health was so bad. My body was breaking down.